What's going on, everybody? The RedSon lives, and I was originally going. I originally found like a free app that I could use to help edit this, and then I found out that it's for phone. It's for a phone, and it doesn't really work that well on Chromebook, and now I'm sad. But this is part two of my shit I learned in school week. And I wanted to say that before I get into this, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about, it seriously did happen to me. I don't want to call this a story time because those are cringy as shit and they make me feel bad just knowing that they exist. But this is as close to it as I can get without hating myself for doing it. But what I said, but the stuff that happened to me, it wasn't cool. Don't do it to anybody else. It's not funny. It ruins people's experience at a place that should have been fun and it should have helped it. And it should have helped you, but it ended up making me worse for wear. There. So that's the disclaimer for everything. And another thing in my last video I went off about how English teachers always have that God complex to them, and they give off this shit eating just feel to them. And I started thinking about it after I had recorded that video, and then I realized my first year at high school, the teacher was the English teacher was pretty cool. Second year he was pretty cool, and then the third year I didn't really like her, but she helped me fix up parts on my van so that they could work better. So I don't know where I got the idea that English teachers were pieces of shit because I kind of liked all of mine. I don't know where that came from, but I feel like it was somewhere in here and it needed to be said. I don't know. They were all kind of cool. I don't know. If any of you are watching, like any of the teachers are watching, I am sorry about that last video. I think it may have just had something to do with middle school teachers, but whatever. Whatever confidence you have, you need to bring it down a little bit. Just right about here. Maybe you'll fit better. All right. That's the apology for the last video out. So what I had to say. So best thing that I can say now is here's another thing that happened. Here's part two of what I got to experience in high school, which wasn't fun. Probably ruined the entire time that I was there because it ruined my reputation. You see, I feel like it's kind of died down a little bit, but school shootings were almost everywhere in the news when I was in high school, and there was a good period, like when I left, where it was still a big deal, and everybody was afraid that it was going to happen to them. And people at my school were fucking relentless about it. They would make jokes no matter what, and I understand the joke was funny for a few of them because they were well made, but then people would suddenly start ruining them by continuously pushing them over the edge and making them worse and worse. And then it was no longer funny. It was just them making jokes about shit that shouldn't be made jokes about. And so what happened to me is I looked like that kid in high school. You know the one I'm talking about. Now, he has that look, the one where he has that long leather coat, and he has that creepy persona to him. He doesn't really like everybody. He's quiet. That exact the kind of kid that you would keep an eye out for just in case something bad did happen. So what happened was at my freshman or my sophomore year in high school, some kid had it was about a month before school had ended, and they made a joke. Somebody had written on the wall 20 something days till 20-something days left. And everybody got freaked out because they were thinking like, oh, 20, what does that mean? What does that mean? Is somebody going to shoot up the school? Is somebody going to have are we all in trouble in 20 days? The guy had been counting how many days of school he had to go to left before he could graduate, but nobody took into account how many days it would take until school was over. So what happened to me was I looked like the easy target, so they blamed me for it. And if you just took like 20 days total and then counted them, it would lead up to May 2nd. Now, when May 2nd happened, that was how many days in total. If you counted them by like 20 something actual school days, like work days, then it would be the final day of school and he wouldn't have any more to go through. But they thought they were scared because 20 something days, they found the kid that looked the most like the school shooter, and then they blamed it on me. I didn't do it. I didn't know anything about it. So what they did is they blamed me. They thought that I was going to hurt everybody, even though I didn't give one flying fuck about anybody in that school. I wanted to be left alone. I just wanted to listen to my music and continue on with my day. Now what happened after that was it was 2 weeks until May 2nd. Then I got called into the principal's office. The principal had said something along the lines of, we need you to not act the way that you do for the next few weeks just to make people feel safe. And I thought, what does this have to do with it? Are you aware of what was written in the stalls in the boys' bathroom last week? No, I don't give a fuck. I want to go home. Screw you guys. Nice. Oh, well, here's what happened. And then he explained everything to me. And then he tried to make it seem like it was somehow my fault. Like, I just wore a certain type of clothes, and then he immediately assumed that I was dangerous. I was scary. What did you expect? You have such a dark sense of humor. I have a dark sense of humor because I'm a fucking high schooler who gets bullied 3 times a fucking day by a whole bunch of people that won't admit to themselves that they're gay and then move on. So I was stuck with that. The next few days, the teachers and the vice principal would always check up on me. They were way more friendly than they ever were before. They would always say something like, "Hey, Sonny, how you doing? Having a nice day?" I'm like, "Yeah. Fucking go. Don't leave me alone." And it would continue on like that for so goddamn long, all the way up until 2 days until it was March, April, May. It was the last day of April, and then the teachers told me that there's something that the vice principal wants to tell you. Not the principal, the vice principal. So I go up to the vice principal's office 2 days before the whole May 2nd thing would happen. And he takes me in there and says, "Hey man, I want to let you know that my vice principal was a big guy, bald. He looked like he could be the gym teacher. That's the best way that I can describe it. But what he did is he took me into the principal's office, and they had him, the vice principal, the actual principal, and the police officer that worked at the school. All 3 of them were sitting on the other side of a desk while I was right there on a little plastic chair, my hands not in my pockets. And they said something like, "Hey, we think it'd be a good idea if you just change the way you look. Just for May 2nd. To make sure that everybody feels safe." Well, I started thinking, like, alright, so your idea of changing everything is to take the one thing that was constant throughout this entire thing and then make it a big red flashing fucking sign in a way that'll make me look even more suspicious. I had nothing to do with this. You guys came to me and blamed me for everything that's going on. I was having a decent time and I wanted to go fucking home. And then you guys ruined it for me. You put up a big sign that says, "Don't worry, we found the dangerous kid," and then brought him in there and then told him how he wasn't dangerous. But nobody fucking else knew that. So they blamed me for it and then they brought me in there and made it seem like I was the bad guy. Then after a little bit, they took me. Then after that, they told me, "Well, it's not like we're trying to make you seem like the bad guy." And I said, "I don't know what you're trying to do, but it's not helping. If anything, you should just let me wear what I'm normally wearing. People wouldn't think anything's different and they'll move on with their life." But no, they told me that not only am I not allowed to wear anything of a darker color, they said I had to wear to the most explicit form of dress code possible. A dress code that we don't follow. So I decided, alright, I took my hairstyle, I changed it to whatever they wanted. I made it like that stupid little curl where everything is pushed back and tied up. And then I took the normal pair of pants that I had. They were some of my dad's old army pants. And it's because they fit perfectly and I thought it was fun because it was something that my dad used to help get me to where I am. So I wore the pants that I had. There was a jacket that my grandma bought, and I planned on wearing it, and it was cold as hell. I have no metabolism, and I'm skinny as hell. The only reason I wore the fucking leather jacket was because you guys decided to keep it at 62 degrees all the time, no matter how cold it was outside. I was freezing if I wasn't in anything else. I needed a jacket to not go into shock. And then they told me I couldn't wear it. So I took a long sleeve shirt, and then I took another long sleeve polo shirt, buttoned it all the way up, put the collar set perfectly. I took a long thick pair of pants that I had. I think they were khakis or whatever the fuck. Okay. And I wore it like that. And what I had done throughout the entire time I was in high school was I wore gloves. Not because I needed to wear gloves or anything, but I thought they'd be fun. My hands are super skinny, and I thought it'd be fun if I could just have something like that. The teachers thought it was something stupid, and they tried to get me to stop doing it. Even though it hurt nothing, it was not against dress code, it wasn't against anything. But they still tried to make me get rid of it. All the way until the point where I told them that, no, you have no basis on getting rid of it, it does not solve anything to keep it, I'm going to wear it regardless. So they let me wear it. And I always had these same $3 for a pack of 20 gloves, and I would just wear them the whatever color I felt like all the way up until that day where I took the black gloves that I had on and I put the white pair that I had on that I put the white pair on, and then I just walked into school like that. Pants tucked in with a belt, light colored khaki pants, and it's 2 long sleeve shirts on to make sure that I was actually warm because you guys wouldn't change the fucking temperature and I wasn't allowed to wear my jacket. And the entire day, every single person there gave me different looks. I didn't bring my backpack to school because people thought it was going to be a risk that there might be something dangerous inside of it. And do you know what stayed with me for the rest of the fucking time I was in that high school? 4 total years. The first half, there was nothing that changed. Everything after that was me being called the school shooter. Do you know how hard it is to make any meaningful relationships in a high school? You know what it's like to not be able to ask anybody out because they're afraid for their life because they think that you're a murderer? Do you know how many times I walked by somebody because I was just trying to get to class and I could hear them whispering, it's the guy who's gonna kill everyone. I wasn't allowed to react in any way because that would put me into exactly what they thought I was, and I wasn't allowed to do anything else. If I acted against what they were saying, then they would think I was violent. If I acted in the other way, it would make it seem like I'm covering up the fact that I'm violent. I'm not violent. They thought I was a murderer. They thought I was a horrible person, and I was just trying to go to school. I just wanted to have a few fucking years to myself where I could just get through high school. And it never happened. For 2 years, it slowly died down all the way to my senior year, where everybody who had made the jokes had graduated or forgotten about it. All the way until my final year, where I decided, hey, it's my last year, I might as well do something funny. So they had a dress up day on the same day as the talent show. I decided, hey, it's a talent show. I'm friends with a lot of the people here. I've spent a lot of time with the teachers. They're pretty friendly at this point, so I can make a few jokes. So what I did is, for the dress up day, I had taken the suit that I had bought for prom. And I love Supernatural. I love Supernatural to death. Ironic for what's going to come next. I love Supernatural. It's one of my favorite shows. It's so good, and I love it so much. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to dress up like one of the characters from it, because it was a theme about like TV and movies. Who do you want to dress up like? So I dressed up like Death from Supernatural because he looked so good in it. I had the suit, the tie, everything, the pants matched. But then as I was leaving for school, I realized like, oh, you got to get a name tag so you can like put it on. It said, "Hi, my name is," and then the white space I put in small words, "Death," and then in big quotation marks, "from Supernatural." I'm safe. I'm good. Good. Nobody can infer something because it said "Death from Supernatural." Big font, little font. And then, as I was leaving school, as I was leaving my house to get to school on that one day, my backpack had broken. My old backpack, I had the backpack for like 3 years. I never bought a new one. And then as soon as I picked it up, the attachment on it snapped. Yeah, so I'm like, crap, I gotta go find something. I ran into my dad's closet and I found this pet carrier that was also a backpack. You know, the one where it has like, it's made of like fishnet sort of things, where it's just a whole bunch of like fabric crisscrossing and making it to where it's like a laundry bag sort of thing. Well, anyway, I used one of those. It had a little set of wheels on it, and it also had this extendable arm that you could like pull out and like you could roll it behind you like it was luggage. So I took all my books and I put it in there, and then I took my script that I was gonna read for the talent show, and I put it in there as well. Now, as soon as I showed up, everyone was like, "Oh, Sonny." Okay, my name's Sonny. So you're getting. That's the one thing you're getting, and I let it slip, and I don't know how to edit, and I don't want to rework this entire thing. So, you learn my first name. Oh, you look so nice. Oh, you look really good. Is that the same thing you wore for prom? It really does fit you. You're doing such a good time. And then, as I moved past everybody in school, it, didn't go as well as I had thought, because once I finally sat down, once I had gotten through my first and second period, it was lunchtime. It was another hour and a half before the talent show was going to go up. An hour and a half before I was about to go up on stage. And I don't fucking like being on stage. I don't like being the center of attention. I mean, this is just me talking to a camera. I'm not the center of attention no matter which way I try to push it. But as I was up there, the teacher one of the teachers had talked. No, when I left class, I was going to my little RTI class before I went to lunch. The little RTI class is like half the school is at lunch, half of it's an RTI. Then they switch, and then they go on to their normal schedules. But I was trying to go to my RTI class. One of the teachers says, "Hey, they want to talk to you about something in the middle. They want to talk to you in the principal's office." I'm like, "What the fuck do they want now?" So I walk up. So I walk up there. I still have my little bag with me. Hey, just for reference, the bag looks like a net. Something you would pick up. Something you could pick up like fish with. It looks like a strainer was made out of fabric. And I was rolling it in there. They made me sit down for like 20 minutes, and I finally go back in there. I finally go back, and then they say, like, "Do you have any thoughts about wanting to hurt anybody in this school?" I'm like, "Is this really happening again? This is the second fucking time, and you guys don't think that it's just a whole bunch of rumors that everybody's passing around? I'm just trying to get through the school year. I don't care about any of these stupid motherfuckers. I don't care about any of these kids. I want to go home, and I don't want to do anything for you guys ever again. You got it?" So after that, I decided to go to school. They tell me, we're going to have to search you to make sure that you're telling the truth." "And what are you dressed up as?" "Death from Supernatural. He's like one of my favorite characters on it, and he's suave. He has that dapper look to him." They're like, "Well, why did you dress up as Death?" "You guys let me dress up. Everybody's dressed up. Everybody's dressed up as a whole bunch of different stuff. I just wanted to look cool." And then they said, "All right, well, we're going to have to make sure that you're not carrying anything." So they pat me fucking down. And then they just act like it's no big deal. They pat me down like I have a weapon. I've never had a fucking weapon in my life at that school. I didn't want to be pat down. They did it anyway. I got sent. They said, "All right, well, we're going to have to go through a few of your other things." They searched my fucking locker, and then they searched through my bag, which was see-through that they didn't need to look through. There were comic books and other shit in there because I didn't have anything to do in that school. And they searched through it fucking anyways. And as I was walking there, I was just trying to get to the last 5 minutes of the RTI class. I walk down there, and I see these two kids walking by me. And as I'm walking down there, I'm just sitting there pissed off because now everybody thinks I'm dangerous again, and I just want to do my stand-up routine. That's all I wanted to do. It's a talent show. Do the stand-up routine. You're all suited up and dressed. You just want to be there. There. That's all you plan for today. Fuck everything else. As I'm walking down there, these two kids, one of them leans over to the other one. "That's the dangerous kid." And then then they walk faster, and they just move away from me. I'm like, I'm not dangerous. They are out of their fucking mind, and they're trying to make me look worse. "Oh, it's just people being afraid." No, that's not being afraid. That's starting a fucking rumor. That followed me my entire time in high school. I had one meaningful relationship with somebody who also had shit talked about them. Nobody else cared about me. Nobody wanted to go on a date with me. Nobody wanted to be near me. I had 7 friends, and it never got bigger because people were afraid that I would be the dangerous guy in the group. My entire personal life in that high school was ruined because they thought I was fucking dangerous. It didn't help that a week before then, 2 other things had happened back to fucking back. The same principal and the same teachers. The first thing that had happened was bit there was a random drug search. They wanted to go through the parking lot. They brought around people who could check for it. They went and walked by people's cars to make sure. Then they got to my then they got to my vehicle. My vehicle is a 98 Chevy Astro. It's a van. It's not a creepy ass van. It's just a van. You can see through it. There's a ton of mirrors, and it's something that I got a few months prior from my dad, who had been using it and sharing it with my uncle. That's it. Not only do they walk me out there and say, "We suspect that there's something in your van," they think I have fucking drugs in my van. They bring me out there, they search the van, they go through it. The entire time, there are two police cars with two police officers apiece, and one of them is just filled with fucking dogs waiting to try to get a bite of whatever is inside there. I don't smoke weed. I don't do anything. And I don't even like the thought of alcohol around me. And they make me seem like I'm the bad guy. They think I'm a school shooter. Now they think I'm a drug dealer. They had a problem with me and nobody would fucking do anything about it. And it was just okay. They would walk me out there. They walked me out there and said, "Oh, we're sorry for doing this. Maybe because the smell of marijuana can exist in a certain confined area like that van for about 2 years." I'm like, "Oh, so your dogs are fucking stupid, and you tried to get me in trouble, and you ruined even more of my reputation. So now they think I'm dangerous and a drug dealer." And then they just left like it was no big deal. Like that wasn't going to get a big hit on whatever reputation I had. Then the final thing, all of this happened in between the first and the second time that I got accused of being a school shooter. The final thing was the third thing that happened chronologically. First thing was in the beginning of like the end of my first year, they called me a school shooter. Next was they thought I was a drug dealer. And then third, there was a thing that happened at school where they did this stupid ass dress up day that was just called injury day. Show up with a bandage on your face or a sling around you. Just show that you're participating to show that you understand that whatever, this was a poorly thought out dress up day. So I said, "Alright, what can I do? Maybe I can do something creative." And apparently, being creative isn't fucking allowed. Because what I did is I have a Freddy Krueger glove. That's 100% a prop. It is made of metal. There are metal bits on it, but the fingertips on it are dulled down and they're not made of metal. Well, they're made of metal, but they're extremely dull and it's clearly a prop. So what I did is I took an old shirt that I had, I tore a hole in the center of it, and then I took a belt and I wrapped it around the bottom part of the glove, and I had the little Freddy Krueger part coming out. And I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. So I took some of the red face paint and I like put it on me and I made it look like I got messed up. And then I walked out. And then I went to school. I showed up, there were people hobbling around, there were people around in like splints from old injuries, there were people like walking around doing other stuff, just everybody's dressed up. And then the first teacher that comes up to me says, "Dude, that's awesome. Awesome." I'm like, "Thanks. Thanks. Where'd you get the glove?" "Oh, the glove? It was a gift from my aunt. She passed away about 3 months ago, and this is like the last thing that she gave me, and it was so cool that I could actually use it for a little bit." The next teacher that saw me was like, dude, that's awesome. He got the other teacher and said, the other teacher who had just got done seeing it and said, did you see this guy? Awesome. 3 different teachers came up to me and complimented me about how it looked. Then the last, then the last person, who was this fucking bitch that I never want to see again in my life. She wasn't a teacher, she was a faculty member. She probably did the taxes for the school. That was it. She then walked up to me and said, "Oh, that's a creative dress up." And then she pointed at the glove that was coming out of my chest and she said, "Hand it over." I said, "Is there a reason why you're trying to take it away? It's made of metal and metal can be sharp. We want to take it away because it's not within school property. Because it's not within the school's associated. Whatever. They said it wasn't okay for you to have it. This is mine. My aunt gave it to me before she passed away. And every single time, every single dress up day, you and the fucking faculty have had something to say about every goddamn time I dressed up. You kept telling me, no, I can't dress up like this. Oh, that's a tiny amount of face paint, so you're going to have to get rid of the whole costume. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. And then I actually decide to participate in whatever you're doing, and then you try to take away the only thing my aunt left me before she fucking died. How dare you? To which she responded, "I can get the principal down here and we can dispute this a little bit more if you want. What? Or you can hand it over." So I handed her the fucking thing. I handed her the fucking glove. She walked away with it, and not only did she tried to get me suspended because I had it on me at all. It's a prop. There's a signature on it from the actor who played it. Made it. It's clearly not a replica. It's clearly not homemade. It's a prop. Am I going to bring in a metal comb and then just start going through my hair? And then you're going to say, "Oh, it's made of metal, so hand it over. It's not safe for you to have it." Fuck you and fuck everything you believe. If you're watching this and if you know who you are, I'm going to go ahead and say your whole name outright because I hate you and I hope you fucking get fired from every single job you're ever at. Fuck you, Miss Edwards. I hope you get kicked in the teeth by a horse. Fuck you. She almost got me suspended from school because of how much I disagreed with her and I didn't want to give up that prop. And then she then informed my parents about it, who were 100% on my side, and then got me a law, and then told the principal about it, to which case I had detention for the next 3 days. So that's what I learned in high school. When they say that you can be creative, they mean be creative the way that normal people are creative. Don't try to go above and beyond because that is going to get you in trouble. Don't try to show people up because some people deserve to win and you don't deserve it. And you're not some people. Do you have a cute idea to dress up? Well, it's not within our school lines, so we're going to take that away from you. Oh, you've messed up twice? You've done something out of our particular settings twice, so now we're going to keep an eye on you forever. Oh, do you dress a certain way? We're going to assume that you're the most dangerous person here and that you have a weapon on you at any time. I hope that entire goddamn school burns to the ground and I hope everybody inside of it gets what's coming to them. Fuck all of you. I never want to see you again. I'm glad I finished that school and I'm never going back there. You want to do a celebration where you get all those people to come back and see like, oh, we're the class of 2019. Fuck you. I never want to see you again. Have a good day. This has been the next rant from the RedSon. As of now, I'm setting. Goodbye, guys. Have a better life than I did.